Hello, my name is Shelma Robbyta from Industrial Engineering, Binus University, and here I want to present about chemical safety and security. First, what is chemical safety and security? Chemical safety refers to measures to prevent non-deliberate release of toxic chemicals into the environment and to mitigate the impact of such events occur. For chemical security, it means preventing and protecting against the intentional misuse of chemicals, people, or equipment for non-peaceful purposes. Here is some of the purposes of chemical safety and security. The first one is to help establish a safe and secure workplace, help safeguard the environment, to prevent and reduce exposure to staff, and to prevent and reduce release of hazardous chemical on operation. And here is chemical safety incidents. I divided into two: laboratory safety incident and industrial safety incident. For the lab incident example is from University of California, Los Angeles. This lab incident caused by scale-up of flammable chemical T-butyl-lithium. Quantities of flammable stored in the lab exceed US regulations, and improper personal protective equipment. From the Texas Tech University, this lab incident caused by scale-up of a nickel hydrazine perchlorate from 300 mg to 10 grams, physical hazard of chemical not assessed or controlled, insufficient chemical safety management, and lesson from previous incident not learned. For the industrial safety incident, here is some of the worst industrial accident in history. The first one is Chernobyl disaster in Ukraine, a power explosion in Germany, the disasters of Couriers in France, the explosion of Ben-Hishif colliery in China, awful accident in India, and Deepwater Horizon oil disaster that occurred in the coast of Asia. And here is some of the photograph chemical safety incident. Right in the left corner there is the pictures of the Texas Tech University lab incident. In the middle there is the explosion of Ben-Hishif colliery in China that occurs on April 26, 1942 in coal mine of Banshi, China. And in the right corner there is the Chernobyl disaster in Ukraine that occurs on April 26, 1986, caused by a human error together with structural problems of the system, caused a series of explosions inside of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant that destroy the reactor and next buildings, causing the release of radioactive cloud. Move on, there is a chemical security threats. The first category is chemical thefts, such as dual-use chemicals like precursors for drugs, precursors for chemical weapons such as nuclear. And the second category is industrial plant sabotage, such as industrial chemicals like flammable or toxic gases, the reactive chemicals that could possibly explode by any time, corrosive chemicals, and pesticides. For the impact of sabotage itself, like deaths and injuries, the injuries could be possibly happens anytime in laboratories such as cut, slips, trips, falls, and repetitive motion injuries, and economic losses and environmental impact. Here is some steps to establish a safety and security system. The first one is develop a safety and security policy statement. The second one, implement administrative control. The third one, identify and address particularly hazardous situations. The fourth one, evaluate facilities and address weakness. The next one, establish procedure for chemical management. And the next one, employ engineering controls and personal protective equipment. Next one, plan for emergency. And the last one, identify and address the following safety and security best practices. Here is some of the chemical hazard symbols that we have to know. In the first place, there is environmental hazard. Indicate substances that are toxic aquatic organisms or may cause long-lasting environmental effects. They should be disposed of responsibly. The next is acutely toxic sign. Indicates life-threatening effects. In some cases, even after limited exposure, any form of ingestion and skin contact should be avoided. the gas under pressure sign. The container with this sign should be not heated. The corrosive one will have to avoid skin and eye contact and do not breathe vapor if found. The chemical with this sign. For the explosive one, the chemical with this label should be kept away from the potential ignition sources. Flammable when exposed to heat, fire, or sparks, or give off flammable gases when reacting with water ignition sources should be avoided. Moderate hazard may irritate the skin or exhibit minor toxicity. The chemical should be kept away from the skin and the eye as precautions. Oxidizing should be kept away from ignition sources, health hazard. Skin contact and ingestion of this chemical should be avoided. And that's all. This is the end of the presentation for chemical safety and security topics. And thank you.